During Gamescom, we got a trailer for the Cops gameplay, and now we have some actual Cops gameplay. This is a mission similar to one we played at Gamescom, but this is known as a bait crate. Now, these are pretty much time attack events, but they're also based on the fact that the police are after you, and taking down the police and that kind of thing will give you an advantage. But this was definitely a good experience to show you how the Cops work in this game. In this mission, we're using the BMW M5, as you might be able to tell, it's a little bit heavier. It feels heavier, especially when they make contact with the police. It pushes them around a lot more. This is the runner class vehicle, so these are pretty much designed to go against the Cops and other people and destroy them, pretty much. So these are much heavier than the normal race cars that you get in the game. So pretty much, if you want to be toying with the police, this is the car class you want to go with. But let's talk about the Cops. Now, I've already demoed and talked about what I want to see from the Cops, but I actually got to play it during Gamescom, and we have some footage to go along with it here. Thanks, Ghost, for providing. First thing you notice is that the Cops are much more persistent. They will come up behind you, and they will catch up to you. In the last game, they did not catch up to you in the slightest. It will take them forever to try and do so. Not only did they catch up to you in this, I spoke about them being a lot smarter. Well, they're bloody smarter in this, I can tell you that much. They come up but neck and neck to you. They try and match you. They try and box you in. Depending on how many Cops there are and how many of them are ahead of you or near you, they will organize on what to do. They will talk on the Cop Chatter radio what they're gonna do. You can hear Cop Chatter. It's back again. Imagine when there's two near you and they want to box you in, they will decide to just go side to side to you and try and push inwards, though you have the power to push them out of the way or push them into poles or traffic vehicles or whatever. And if things are moving towards them like traffic, or there's a solid pole in there, something like that, if you hit them into that, they will probably lose more health than if you just tap them to the side a little bit. There is a very major difference if they have to like stop instantly. If they stop instantly or hit something coming onto them, they will get a lot more damage than they do, for example, bashing into a wall or you hitting them into a wall, that kind of thing. That, which I really do like, because in the previous game, no matter how hard you hit them, they seem to just plow on just as normal. To be fair, they didn't get taken down whatsoever. But even in the older games, they had some where it would not really matter how you hit them or how hard you hit them. They would still just be like, oh, okay, yeah. Again, so people don't get confused about this. The takedown cameras are not when you take out racers. There's no takedown cameras when you take out other AI players, other than the actual AI that are trying to take you down, not the actual racers themselves. This is just Cops, so it makes sense. But personally, I do think some of them are a bit show-offy. Like, for example, when I honestly tap them into a wall and they tap the wall, I shouldn't have to see that one because it was a little bit basic, but that needs a little bit more tweaking. And again, they are tweaking that. They have mentioned they are not final. None of this is final. They are going to be messing around with it, tweaking it just so. Some of the less exciting crashes aren't really shown. I do like the dramatic crashes and dramatic slowdown camera. Some specific things, for example, on the first mission, the heist, in where they go for a drift, the first mission we saw, they go for they kind of slide in, the big SUV slide in, and it does a slowdown. I actually quite like that slowdown. I think it matches it really well, but if they overdo it, it makes them less exciting and makes them almost frustrating. Though the time that they show the crash seems to have been changed and lowered down a little bit, which is good. Just wanted to touch base on the handling of this car. So this car is definitely not a car that you're going to be using in races other than these events right here, or taking down enemies. These are basically the tanks. This is the tank class, if you want to. It's designed to just plow through. If you've got an objective in sight, you're going to get to it in this vehicle. I would say it's close to the race sidecar, but you do feel a weight difference. You do feel it has more meat behind it, meat on its bones to hold its place when you are getting bashed around by the police. You can clearly tell. You do feel a sense of more weight, but at the same time, when these Cops hit you, it seems like they're almost sometimes there's no weight whatsoever there, and that is because of this class. I imagine if you were again in a race car, then it would be a little bit different. You would not be, you would be pushed around a lot more. And I'm interested to see what it would be like with depending on the weight of the car. So for example, if you had an SUV, something like that, are the Cops going to be less effective in pushing you or boxing you in? Can you push through them a lot more in one class more than you can the other? That's something I want to find out. But this area right here, I haven't even spoken about. This is a completely new area that I don't think has been shown yet. It's kind of a mountainy road area which looks fantastic, and you can tell it's not a desert. So this shows you again that there's a massive area we've seen the city, we've seen this area here, which is just so much to go off and explore. You don't have to stick to the road. You can go up and off the mountain at some parts of it. And then we have the dirt place, so the sand, the desert area that we've seen many times because we've been using the same footage for a while, but we've now got some new footage to show you. This, my friends, is the police. So again, this is a mission. It's a mission in where you have to escape the police essentially and do a time trial at the same time. I think it was a fun mission to do. At the end of it, you get your rep, you get your money, all that kind of jazz, and you can level up, obviously. And obviously, at the end of the event, you get to pick a speed card, which will give you a part or something like that we've spoken about before. But you can see that the game is looking fantastic right now. So much to talk about on this gameplay alone, and it's just a simple one event video. The UI is improved, everything is improved in Payback, and I can tell you from playing it, it's a million times better. There's no information on how the police will come after you. Is there a heat level? Is there how long the pursuit goes on for? Is it how aggressive you are and how many cops you take down? There's no information on that, but I'm hoping it's a combination of all of those things in one, depending on how you're playing. If you're playing aggressively against the cops, they'll come after you more and send more rhinos and faster cars after you if you go too quick. All these questions I have, it does answer some questions, but it asks a heck of a lot at the same time. That's the problem with this. Obviously, everyone wants to know some specific details, but if you've got anything you want to know, make sure to let me know down in the comments. Be sure to smash like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.